Hey, baby. Hey. You're so pretty. Look at those eyes. He's back. Oh, look at those eyes. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. What the flip is up, faithful fairies? As you can see, I'm out in nature. This is not a forest, but you know, there's several trees, so you know, that feels good to me and I can walk through it. Normally the trail that I go to by my house, this kitty is just following me. Super cute. Anyways, yeah, normally the trail I go to back in Laredo, because right now I'm in clean snow, a little vacation. And so yeah, for like the 5th time, the trail I normally go to, there's trees everywhere and stuff, but they don't like take care of the grass like this, so it's like a jungle in there. You can't really even walk through it without some type of shit happening. So this is so beautiful. I'm really loving the vibes here. I feel like I'm in a mini forest. Ooh, that tree over there. Yep, I'm gonna go to those trees right there. Looks like there's a little more shade too. And let's just see what we talk about, because I started this video. I don't know what I want to talk about just yet. I'm just kind of going with the flow, so let's see. We have arrived to our destination. What is this? I don't know what that was, but look at all that spider web. I don't know, but this is just beautiful. You know what? Maybe I could stand my phone on here. Let's see. That would be awesome. Will it stay? Will it stay? It stayed! Holy shit. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm ready for this. So, gotta hydrate. Alright. Alright, you guys, I think I know what I want to talk about. Alright, so I want to talk about making the most of our current situations. So I want to talk about this because the other day I was thinking about my past a little bit, and you know, just thinking about memories and stuff. And when I'm thinking about these memories, I think like, wow, I wasn't consciously living, so I didn't feel that gratitude in those moments. I wasn't being like fully aware of things. Of course, everything was the way that it was supposed to be, right? But now that I'm consciously living and aware of my surroundings 24/7, I can definitely feel the contrast from how I was living before I was awake and how I'm living now. And the difference between then and now is that now that I'm consciously living, I have the option to make the most of every situation, or I have the option to dwell in my situation. So for example, right now I'm in Killeen, Texas, like I was saying in the beginning, and I'm staying at my brother's house with his family and such. And it's just a different environment than being at home, it's different than what I'm used to. We're not really on the same wavelength, so it's easy to kind of fall down, to kind of feel like out of place or just weird. Like, comment down below if you can relate to that, when you're surrounded by people who are not really vibing on the same wavelength. But this is my family we're talking about here. And back in Laredo, I was learning how to, how to remain grounded, remain high vibrational, feeling good, even with the people who weren't really vibing on that energy, vibing on that level. And it's been really good for me because it's strengthening me. It's allowing me to make the most of every situation. Because by doing this, I'm getting to just continue being myself regardless of the situation, regardless of my surroundings. And so I'm making the most of every day of my life. I don't want to, it to be 5 years from now and I'm looking back and being like, oh my gosh, I was spending time with these people, and instead of, enjoying it and all that stuff, instead of trying my best to make the most of it and, remain feeling good without all of these, thoughts about how I don't fit in and this isn't for me, all that type of stuff, So anyways, being here with my family and, practicing this, it's not the easiest thing to do, but that's only because I'm 17 years old now and I haven't been living like that my whole life, so it's gonna take a little bit of time. So I guess what I want to talk about in this video is how to stay high vibrational, how to stay grounded, so that you can feel good literally no matter who you come across, no matter who you're in the presence of. Because we're all one, we're all connected. If you happen to run across somebody at the store, something as simple as that, it's no coincidence. The universe put you two there at the same time for a reason. So anytime that we try to avoid people, avoid conversations, we're going against the laws of the universe in some sense, you know what I mean? So we just have to go with it. We just have to go with it and make the most of it. So yeah, let's just talk a little bit about how we can make the most of any situation, how we can stay grounded in any situation. So number one, I feel like number one should be just the knowing that there are no coincidences and that you are right where you need to be. If you're surrounded by people who are not vibing on the same wavelength, even though they're not vibing on the same wavelength, that does not mean that that's not where you're supposed to be. You were put there for a reason, like we were just talking about. So just the knowing that you are exactly where you should be 24/7 helps us to go with the flow more, because we can say like, all right, I know this isn't necessarily too comfortable, it's not where I really want to be, but this is where I am, and so I'm going to make the most of it, I'm going to enjoy it, and etc. So just knowing that there are no coincidences, and anywhere we are, anyone we're with, is exactly who we should be with, exactly where we should be. So just, keeping that in mind. Number 2. Alright, so once we have took the red pill, as Martinez says it, once we've taken that red pill, once we've awakened, I don't know, become conscious, we don't talk about the same things we used to talk about. We don't do the same things we used to do. You know, we're more aware of our potential, we're more aware of what we need, and so we try to follow that as much as possible. But when we're surrounded by people who have not taken the red pill, it's not like we can really go on about talking about spirituality and all of that type of jazz, because, you know, they'll be looking at you like you're crazy. They just won't understand. It's kind of a waste of energy unless they come to you. Or they're talking about it, you know, most definitely. But you know what I mean, when it's not that type of crowd. It's important for us to practice having normal conversations with these people, you know? There's an ant on my phone there. Anyways, even though they're not talking about spirituality or, you know, what you may like to talk about, it doesn't mean that what they're talking about is not important. It doesn't mean that, you know, it's a waste of time. They're most likely speaking from their perspective, they're speaking from their heart. So, you know, everyone has a different perspective on things. And just by listening, so I think number 2 is going to be listening. You know, observing and not absorbing. Because when we observe, as in, you know, listen, we can respond to them with compassion. It may not be all spiritual, but we know how to implement the spirituality into the non-spirituality in a subtle way that they won't be so freaked out about it, you know, because we don't need to be speaking all spiritual to get the message across. That just makes it more difficult for them, right? So if we want to make it more comfortable, we should be able to turn ourselves down a notch, and stop thinking about spirituality, stop thinking about where you want to be right now, who you wish you were with, and be in the moment with these people, because we can learn a lot from them just as they can learn a lot from us. So communication, you know, communication and open heart, open ears, of course, right? So that would be number 2. Get some water. Alright, number 3. And I love this one. I really love it. Everything is only temporary. Everything is only temporary. If you're feeling uncomfortable in a situation, in an environment, know that it's only temporary. Again, it kind of ties in with number 1, you know. It's just kind of that knowing that that's where we need to be right now and that it's only temporary. Think about this, you know, right now you may still be finding yourself in situations, environments where you're surrounded by these people who are not really on the same wavelength. And we can't just avoid that our whole lives. No, these are people too, and we are spiritual beings having a human experience. One of the most beautiful things about being a human being is that we can talk, we can communicate. So, you know, step out of your box and just be open. Be open to talking, be open to making new connections, be open to putting yourself in that environment. Because think about this, you know, in a couple of years from now, or whatever time you would like to fill that in with, you know, you could be hanging out with a bunch of YouTubers, a bunch of, just people that are vibing on the same wavelength as you. And then you're gonna look back to when you were at this point and be like, wow, I kind of wish I would have, you know, taken more time to communicate with these people that I was with here, and not just push it off to the side and wait for those better connections to come. Because put yourself in the person put yourself in the person who's not awake. Put yourself in their shoes. When you were not awake, I'm sure that what you needed was, not for people to, go all off on you about spirituality, but to just love and accept you for who you are right now, communicate with you openly, authentically, and just not treat you any different than they would treat a spiritual person. I really don't like labels, that's why I kind of like, label myself as a spiritual person, because yes, I'm learning about spirituality, I'm, finding myself, learning how to live consciously, learning how to connect with the divine realm, which, just all the stuff that I never knew. I never saw this coming when I was, just a couple of years ago. Never saw this coming. I didn't even know that this was a thing. But yeah, I'd like to say that we are all in divine alignment, whether you're on a spiritual path or not. We're all right where we need to be, because we're providing all the contrast in which we all need for whatever. So I'm gonna give you guys some examples. I'm hanging out with a friend. Okay, I'm hanging out with a friend. She's talking to me about some boy problems. She's talking to me about what she's going through, how she's feeling and stuff. I could easily tell her, what she needs to do and how she should go about this from my perspective, and from everything that I've learned and such. But let's say my friend is not awake. She's not awake, and she doesn't know those things. She has her own perception, and she's kind of blocked off to anything else. She just knows what she has been taught. She just knows what she has been taught, and that's how she goes at life, with what she knows. So, what will I do? Will I just stay quiet? Will I just agree with everything she's saying? No, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm also not gonna bombard her with a bunch of stuff that is going to be useless. I'm just going to respond to her with what I just observed. There's that word, observed, from what she told me. And I'm going to use my knowledge, my intuition, to put that into words that she can understand. Not necessarily what I would go and tell, Ralph Smart, if we were talking right now, the way that I would talk to Ralph Smart is not the way that I would talk to that friend, Compassion goes hand in hand with communication. If we have compassion for the other, then we can respond in a way that we know they'll be able to understand and take in a good way. Our intentions are always good, coming from a good place. So nothing can possibly go wrong here. You did your part by speaking your truth. You didn't stay quiet just because you have the mentality, I'm not going to even try, she doesn't understand, she's not awake, all this stuff. No, you just kind of use, like I said, you just kind of You just kind of use your intuition, your knowledge, what you know, and put it in certain words. Speak it out in a certain way that fits with whoever you are talking to. And that's why observing is so important. Observing and listening, staying grounded while they're talking, because we'll know how to respond. But if while they're talking we're in our heads thinking, oh my god, what am I doing here, this is a waste of time, all of that stuff, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And when it comes to responding, we either won't respond, or what we respond with is not really a compassionate response, because we weren't fully there listening to them. We were in our heads, right? So very important to observe and not absorb energies regardless of the situation. And this is just what I've learned from my experiences. And one last thing, I believe this is number 4. I love this one as well. I love it. Know that you're being divinely guided. Know that you're being divinely guided 24/7, and that these situations you're put in, these environments you're put in, are there to help you grow. They're there to give you strength. So they're divine appointments, not only for you, but for anyone you're surrounded with as well. It's a divine appointment. So know that you're divinely guided every step of the way. You're on a mission. Think of it like that. Like yeah, I'm on a mission here. All I have to do is be myself, and my guides, the universe, is going to work with me in every single way because I'm open to this. I have compassion for these people, I have compassion for myself, and I'm going to do everything I can here that I feel guided to do, because we're light workers. We are on missions 24/7, even if we don't realize it. Everything is a divine appointment. Since our energy, we can't see energy necessarily, but if I'm walking down the street, someone who passes by me is going to feel my energy. I don't even have to talk to them, but they're gonna feel that energy, and that's gonna result in whatever they think or feel, whatever, and vice versa. So yeah, these divine appointments are very important. They're not to be blown off. They're not to be overwhelmed by. I don't know if I worded that right, but yeah, they're divine appointments. No matter how uncomfortable or difficult that may feel in the moment, think about what is to come out of it. And if you weren't meant to be there, you would not be there. So I love talking about this because a lot of us, it's like this with our own family. We may live in a house with people who don't understand us, people who are on different wavelengths, but we chose that family before we incarnated here for a reason. So again, it's not to be run away from, pushed underground. We were meant to face these things so that we can experience. Another beautiful thing about being a human being, we get to experience things, feel things. So experience it. Do something new. Put yourself in a new environment. Get out of your comfort zone, and you'll be surprised what comes out of it. And yeah, you guys, so I think that is it for this video. It was as you could tell from the beginning, I had no clue at all what I was going to talk about, but I thought this was relevant. And yeah, wait, I do want to say one thing, you guys. Since I'm still 17, I'm living with my parents and stuff. I'm not going to be living with my parents forever, As soon as I have the financial means to go where I want, do what I want, I'm going to do so. But what my guides, what the universe is showing me, is that while I'm here, I need to be making the most of it, so that in the future, when I'm surrounded by different environments, different people, I don't have to worry about this anymore. You know, I can be surrounded by people who are already on the same wavelength, already vibing high and stuff, you know. But this is part of my mission right now. This is part of what I came here to do. And I feel that strongly. I just saw 3030 on my phone, so I'm gonna lean against this tree. So yeah, you guys, you know, I could easily just say, I'm not gonna deal with this shit, I'm not gonna deal with these people, I'm going to just live my life, be happy, not face these situations, these environments, and that's fine. You know, because in the future, when I'm living my life, I don't have to worry about that. But that's not the case, because we all know that when we avoid, we just continue to attract the same thing until we face and grow from it. That's why in relationships, you know, you probably noticed that before you woke up, you would tend to attract the same type of people. The same type of people, because the universe was trying to teach us the same type of lesson. And so until we learn what was meant to be learned, until we open ourselves up to that, we can't really learn and grow from it, and therefore we can't attract a partner that we really long for until we do the work. And that's just the laws of the universe, the laws of nature. That's the way it works. So, to wrap this up, let's just say, don't be afraid to face the uncomfortable. Treat everybody equally, because we are all one. We are all here for a reason, a divine reason, and we all encounter each other and different people for different reasons. So, you know, try not to think about the reasons, but just be. Because maybe it won't be, because, you know, it could be today that you received that reason as to why you encountered certain people, certain situations, and what you learned from it, or it could be 10 years from now. But that's the cool thing about conscious living, is that there's no what if I don't get the answer. There's no what if there. Like, it's not gonna fail. You do what you are guided to do, and you will receive the results. You will receive the outcome that is going to be of benefit to you and to the other person. So, I love this. I'm gonna just stand this up and maybe do some handstands or something. Okay. Do some qigong. I don't really feel like doing qigong right now, so yeah, but I am gonna take some pictures right now, so I'm gonna end this right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope you were able to take something from it. If there's anything you feel called to share, feel free. Whoa, almost tripped there too. Feel free to comment down below. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.